DC Water says it has finished repairs on the Potomac interceptor. This, of course, was that 72-inch pipe that collapsed back in January, sending millions of gallons of contaminated water into the Potomac. But there are still many concerns about the long-term environmental damage from this spill all across the DMV. Alexandria Mayor Alyia Gaskins announced a town hall this Thursday, March 19th at 7 p.m. at the Lee Center. Residents will have a chance to hear from officials and to ask questions. And Mayor Gaskins joins us in studio this morning to talk more about this important issue. We appreciate you being here with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, we know that this crisis has impacted many jurisdictions, including Alexandria. What has been the biggest concern about the impact there?
Yes. The biggest concern among my residents has been sort of the environmental impacts to the Potomac. We want to understand everything from impacts along the shoreline to our aquatic life and making sure that the river that we cherish and is such a central part of Alexandria is one that we're able to enjoy long into the future.
And you have this town hall coming up. What can people expect out of that, and why was this important for you to put in place?
Yes, so when I learned that DC Water was hosting community conversations, I realized that a number of those conversations were in DC and Maryland. Yet Virginians have concerns and questions, and so it was really important to make sure that our residents have an opportunity to ask questions. In terms of what residents can expect, there will be officials from DC Water, the National Park Service, the Army Corps of Engineers, the Virginia Department of Environmental Quality, the Alexandria Department of Health, as well as others from our Transportation and Environmental Services Department. There will be a presentation focused on how we got here, what's the work that's been completed to date, and what's the work that still needs to happen as it relates to environmental remediation. And it will be an open forum where people can come and ask questions.
Yeah, we know Alexandria's waterfront is a huge economic driver for you guys. How do you ensure residents and people visiting that it is safe to be around there, and what does testing still look like right now?
Yes, we are the port city. And so the minute that we learned of the interceptor collapse, we were getting hundreds of calls and emails from our residents. I'd say the first thing, we've been working very closely with the Virginia Department of Health. And so we've been posting signage, we've been putting out regular updates related to testing and recreational water advisories. They have since been lifted, but we've had a constant stream of communication to make sure that people know the best way to stay safe and that they're understanding sort of anything that we know about the river.
The Potomac Conservancy said earlier this month that public trust had collapsed since this spill. Again, I know this is something that impacts multiple jurisdictions, but how do you work on rebuilding that trust with some of these organizations and your constituents?
Yes. So I think first and foremost, that's why we wanted to have a town hall. We wanted Alexandrians to know that at the end of the day, any information that other jurisdictions are getting, we should get that too. And so we want to create a space where people can come and show up and ask questions. I think number two is really thinking about how we set up these conversations. It's one thing for officials to present information. It's another thing for residents to have a chance to speak and share those concerns. And that's exactly the way this will be organized. A space where if there's something on your mind or if there's things we haven't thought about, we need to hear that from you so that we can get that information to you.
Yeah, I know there are so many layers to this massive spill, the environmental concerns, getting it repaired in the first place. A lot of residents concerned about their bills. I know you all are not under DC Water, but talk about some of the financial things that you are monitoring as well.
Yes. So what we understand is that there have been the emergency repairs that were completed, and that's to the tune of about $30 million. There's also over $600 million of planned repairs over the next 10 years. We know that there's additional costs for the environmental remediation work. What we don't know is sort of how those costs will be divided, and if there's anything that the city of Alexandria or neighboring jurisdictions would have to contribute. And so we have those questions as well. We want to be a part of the solution, but we also recognize that our residents didn't cause this.
All right. That town hall this Thursday, March 19th, 7 p.m. at the Lee Center. Yes. Mayor, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.